Tyson Lamond, Chief Operating Officer here at New York Yacht Club American Magic. Tell us a bit about that role. What does that entail?
Yeah, really big part of my role is just pulling everybody together, and anything from the boat build that we've got going on in Portsmouth, Rhode Island, to the operations here in Barcelona, between the guys on the shore and the sailing team, and just making sure that everyone has what they need every day to be able to do their job.
You seem like a very hands-on Chief Operating Officer. I see you out on the water virtually every day. Is that really important to your role?
Yeah, for me, I think to understand what's going on and the problems in all the departments, anywhere from the sailing to the rigging to the hydraulics, you need to be out there and touching it and feeling it and really understand what everybody's dealing with. So I find that a big part of the role, and I don't think that if you weren't on the water seeing it every day, you'd have a good understanding of actually what's going on the ground with the team. And I think a big part of these teams, we move so much and we travel always together. We're a real close-knit family, and being able to be there for each other in the good and the bad times is a big thing.
How does it work from a management reporting structure here? How do you interface with each other? How do you communicate what you've learnt on the water back into the operation?
Yeah, ultimately when we get off the water every day, we have a capture meeting, and then we have the debrief the next day, and towards the end of the capture meeting, a group of us will decide what the plan is for the next day, whether it's a sailing day, a maintenance day, and it all depends on what our priorities are for that week or that month.
I've asked Terry this a few times in interviews. How close to the plan, how close to being on plan are you at this point from your point of view?
Yeah, we've been really fortunate, so far during this cup, we've had a pretty good run with everything, and obviously last cup was really tough with COVID, and we haven't had anything like that so far. So I'd say so far we're on our plan now. Obviously we're pushing Patriot and sailing a lot longer than we had originally talked about, but we feel for our team and all the development we're doing on board Patriot is very important, and ultimately the whole goal is to make sure that we have our boat 3 in as good a shape as possible when we launch it, and using Patriot out there sailing every single day at the moment is certainly going to help us with that, to get a boat on the water that we can sail well within the first few weeks.
What's the feedback from Bristol, Rhode Island on the progress on the new boat?
We're very fortunate. Brandon Linton runs our build facility, and everybody that knows him in the industry, he runs a very tight ship, and those guys are on schedule, and the boat's looking amazing. And as somebody that just loves the America's Cup and the sport of sailing and has grown up in it, I'm really intrigued to see everybody's new boats. When I look at ours every time, it excites me, and I know all the other teams have good people. So from the sailing point of view, I think it's a really exciting time for our sport when all the new boats arrive here. Obviously it's a big thing, and we're all looking at each other. Obviously we hope ours is a little bit better, but really exciting, and we can't wait to have the boat here.
When you look at the other teams, who are you most worried about?
I'm worried about all of them, because I don't think you can write anyone off. It's really interesting how everyone's set up their programs for AC37. Obviously the Defender is clean and they do everything well. We know that when we sail well, we can beat them, and we're very confident with that around here. And certainly not having a good regatta in Jeddah, I think, was really good for us, because we hold ourselves to higher accountability than that, and we had a really good debrief and review after that regatta. The challenges, they're all strong. Luna Rossa, everybody looks at their program, it's very clean. Ineos have an amazing amount of resources, and they're going to be a big mountain to climb. And Alinghi, let's look at the tradition of Alinghi. They're such a respected sailing team, so I don't think there is a weak team, and ultimately we're going to make sure that we perform every day, otherwise someone will beat us.
We're here with Brian Metro from Alinghi Red Bull Racing. You are on the port side of the AC75 today. A 7 a.m. rollout, you were sailing by 9:45. What was the goal for today?
The goal was to take the early breeze in Barcelona. So yeah, we wake up early this morning. And the goal was to walk a bit on the pre-start and also on straight line, doing some testing on the flight system.
Yeah, you had swell from the east, wind from the west, northwest. Was it a challenging day for sail trim and flight control?
Yeah, it was quite demanding, especially with the wave, not aligned with the wind. So yeah, we had to play with it. Especially for me, it was tough on starboard upwind, with the swell coming from behind. It's always challenging.
And you've kept your position in the port pod for a while now. Are you only focusing on flight control?
No, we're focusing on flight control and sail trimming, but for sure to stay on the same side, it's helpful to improve and get better.
So you're sharing the flight control on both sides?
Yeah.
You did some roundups and bearaways, then you worked on some pre-start practice, but you stopped early. What happened?
Yeah, we had a small issue with one of the system on board, so we had to stop the day early.
Yeah, we saw some of the hydraulics techs jump on board, some of the crew gathered at the mainsail clew. Did you have an issue with the main sheet system?
We had we had an issue with a system.
So yeah, a lot of aero testing recently. How much more can we expect?
On?
Aero testing.
We work on that a bit every day, and it's still a big improvement to do, especially with the next boat. So I won't say that we're focusing much on that on boat zero.
Can you give us an idea of the matrix of tests to complete on a sailing day?
It's every day we try to use the best of the weather we have. So every day I think we focus on the aero a bit, and especially on the flight system.
And we saw a lot of cant system testing this morning. Are you working on different cant modes, different cant speeds?
Yeah, start playing a bit with the speed, trying to use different mode on the water.
And we haven't seen any new foils in a while. Will you be putting any more prototype foils on an AC40 or?
You will see in the future.